watch, and I think it was one of the problems for Mineski in that first game.
I think Yee's obviously been having a really good game and exactly the same draft so far.
I mean, this is confidence. Mineski's like, okay, it's not the opener. We're going to make a couple of tweaks in this draft that are going to be able to open it up a little bit more. They're going to ban away the Spectre, first of all.
Absolutely. I thought, as we were saying before, Moon had a very strong early game. It was actually quite poor from Yee. You know, he was right down there in the net worth. I think he was sitting 6th or 7th as it got to around the 10-minute mark. Obviously, he was able to recoup that, but perhaps a lot of that was because 11 was having so much farm there on the Tidehunter.
So a slightly different change for the first time in this draft. After 3 bans on each side and 2 picks on each side, finally we've got something different, which is the spec ban.
So apparently Mineski felt like maybe they just learned the 1-to-1 for Slardar versus Spectre. It looks very nice, but they still did not succeed in their aggro lane, I think, the way they wanted to. So in that regard, they just feel like, okay, we don't actually have the answer to that Spectre. Are they just going to continue to ban out some of these later game heroes?
Yeah, I don't know how I feel about... I feel like a position 5 Wyvern is fine, but I feel like against the style that Keen Gaming has, if you're going to pick a Wyvern, you need to be a lot greedier with how much farm you actually dedicate to her. She was trying to go into the Spirit Vessel to deal with the Spectre and the Tidehunter, but just didn't get there. Only finished up with the Urn of Shadows and a Glimmer Cape. So you're not really able to do all too much if you don't have that base level of farm. Yes, she's got the tools to be able to do it, but you need to create the space for it as well.
Might have to watch out for... There's still that Disruptor out in the pool again.
Yeah.
But also that Omni Knight synergy that it has with the Razor that Mineski banned last time.
And Disruptor quite good against the Shaker as well, right? Like if you catch him out, it's pretty easy. You can't even Fissure block yourself. You're just going to be caught again on the wrong side of the Fissure. You can't really do all too much if you get caught in a Static Storm. You're just a melee creep, essentially.
So a couple of heroes come through this second phase of bans. Jug banned out this time round, so Ursa, Omni Knight both making it through along with the Terrorblade.
A little bit later than usual, that Jug ban coming out. Usually in the first phase, but just not wanting to risk coming up against that Enigma.
Maybe Mineski felt like the Terrorblade wasn't necessary to ban on their side this time around, just because they do have some good answers from their supports in the Wyvern Earthshaker. That being said, the lineup that Keen has set up is very similar to one that Mineski ran in their matchup against Team Team. It had they had Razor, TB, and then they had these similar kind of supports. Replace this Nyx with Earthshaker, I think.
Yeah. Do you think Mineski picks a TB now?
No, I was talking about...
Yeah, but like with the draft, how it's panned out so far, do you think it could work out for them? Like you don't want to risk Keen having another hard-to-kill hero again. It's the exact same thing that they've gone with thus far, right? Granted, the Spectre's not going to be there, but if you've got a Sunder that can just give you so much more effective HP, yes, it's not the same as having the dispersion on the Spectre's side. Oh, here we go. Turning back the clock.
Let's hope they're not turning the clock all the way back.
Definitely not.
If Disruptor comes next, I'm resigning.
Don't worry, Paul. That one is safe. You know what I actually like? I would love to be able to see the Moon like tiny. Something that just is able to run around the map and getting kills for them, low cooldown.
I miss Moon.
That's the way that I think Na'Vi played against a Razor. I'm just trying to look at like some of these Razor heroes.
Do you think they're going to be giving the top farm priority, or at least mid lane, to the Naga, or is this going to be a KP playing it in the off lane? I think you need a lot more farm to make sure it's effective.
No, I think this this current iteration of Naga Siren, most success I've seen from it has been like Moo playing it, and he always goes safe lane. I think this hero you do want more farm on, because the way you just kind of like run out these illusions, they could do a lot of damage now because they just run at these supports and right click them and they just get the Riptide off.
Yeah, Yeah, Mineski will be wanting for this game to go a little bit later. This is much more of the standard Keen Gaming lineup. You know, wanting to push that early aggression, make sure that you can take some towers with the Diabolic Edict, with it being hard for Mineski to actually run into you in the early game with the Static Link, obviously doing so much more.
And this is a kill combo too. The Leshrac Nyx Assassin is very difficult to deal with aggro dual lane.
Yeah, I mean, later on when you pick up the BKBs on Mineski, Keen's lineup falls off a fair amount, so they'll want something to cover for that if it does get to that later stage.
Your supports on the side of Mineski are not like the greatest at securing your lanes. The Wyvern does it through like spamming out Splinter Blast, but when it comes to the hard kill combo of just going on somebody, neither one of these supports is like great at being able to do it. Like, Earthshaker like can be disrupted with Fissure, but you don't have the active impact in lane, and Wyvern has the active impact in lane, but you can't actually stop your carry from dying if they have a kill combo. So in that regard, they cover each other's weaknesses, but they don't necessarily excel.
Well, it's a good setup with the Winter's Curse. A lot of team fight. Maybe it is going to be a lot of this 4 protect 1 style with the Naga just sitting away, farming, making sure that the game progresses even further. And I think we saw KP just doing a bit of miming out of a lot of the attacks that's going to be coming from the Naga. Looks like they're having a fun time with it, which is always good. You know, there's a lot on the line, but if you're not having fun, what's the point?
I mean, if you sit with them when they're having dinner, they do seem to be quite a close-knit team. You know, they're quite happily go and eat together and hang out together outside of the game, and they seem to have quite a good camaraderie between them. Might need it during this series.
So are they putting the Monkey King safe lane, and KP's going to be playing the Naga?
I think KP can play at mid. I think he's been pretty proficient at that. You want to just dodge the Razor. I think we'll be seeing some musical chairs happening with, you know, just the constant rotations. Maybe have the Monkey King rotate through in his Mischief form early on, scout out where the the Keen cores are looking to play this.
Because the thing is, Mineski is definitely showing us something new. They haven't played Naga Siren for 3 months now. And when they did, it was KP playing it.
Yeah, absolutely.
But I honestly just don't think that the newer Naga Siren is that proficient as an offlaner.
No, it's not. It needs farm. But even like when KP played it, his team just changed it up to give him the biggest farm priority. So it didn't have to be that pure offlaner, that aura carrier. I think they'll look to pick up something like that for Mineski. I keep thinking back to Sven or something like that can have a stun, that can have some damage and have a team fight presence to make your team harder to kill, especially with the Naga illusions that'll eventually become a part of it. But against the Razor, it's so tough.
So they banned away the Omni Knight, thinking it's safe lane Dusa or mid Dusa, and then Monkey King on the other side, the 1-2, that there's still the off lane available. But if they're running KP doing it, then they can still have a mid available or their safe lane.
Yeah. I don't know. This is the thing that we've seen with Mineski when they've had a bit more success. They don't give away their entire draft early on. You know, it's something different, something they're not used to. Yeah, here we go. Something again, very
what did
different.
I say?
So I was thinking like Nina for their mid, just because I thought like the burst damage would be valuable here, but Nyx Assassin is dangerous. Is Mirana better for that? I don't think so. Like, whatever. If anybody could do it, it's gonna be Moon, right? If anybody can make Mirana in this current meta, it's got to be him. And they have a lot of really good setups for it, right? You've got Ensnare, Sleep, you've got Winter's Curse, Fissure as well, maybe Boundless Strike. There's so many arrow setups, though, from Mineski. I think you just want a good frontliner here for Keen.
Well, we wanted something different, and we've got it from Mineski. They've picked a first pick in the tournament, Naga, and a first pick all ban in any shape or form, Mirana.
I just think that Mirana's useless if you're playing it as a position 3 or lower. You need to give it farm. It doesn't...
I mean, this is going to be a Moon Mirana, surely.
Yeah,
no one else in the world plays this right now.
Not with great success, at least.
No, and the only one that could is playing on the Mineski team. It is a classic Moon hero. But of course, I guess the other thing to keep in mind here is that if they win this second game, it flips this meta on its head in this best of 5.
Absolutely.
Gives Keen a whole new set of headaches to look at. What can they
Also
find
kind of
there?
weirded out by Keen's setup here, because I thought it was going to be the like 3-position Lesh. Oh, and it is.
Yeah.
But interesting that Mineski banned away the Tidehunter, feeling like the dangerous old 11 Tidehunter that was such a hard frontliner to deal with that also did damage was worthy of the ban.
Yeah, absolutely. They're going to be, I think a big part of this is on the supports of Mineski. You know, Febby has shown time and time again that he can have that presence with the Earthshaker, but Ninja Boogie even more so. If you can lock down that Ember Spirit, they've got so much follow-up stun afterwards, and it's going to go a huge way because it's a little bit slippery. There's some travel time with a lot of the stuns that they've got right now on Mineski, so you need that instant catch.
Oh, you know, that's why the last time that they played the Leshrac, it was actually an old chicken hero. So they thought that was maybe going to be happening again. That was just, again, in the Birmingham qualifiers. So.
Not that long ago. All right, gents, we'll get more, of course, at the end of this particular matchup, but it's time, ladies and gentlemen, to head into our second game of the day. The grand final is well and truly on. Mineski have picked up a couple of brand new heroes. Is it good enough? Let's find out.
It's a great question from Paul. Mineski with good heroes. Are they good enough, however, Kyle? We have a Naga Siren from KP. We're dusting off the old school kind of world of Naga 3 position. You would normally play this as almost a 1 position, a Moon Mirana as an answer to that Razor in mid. There's some interesting concepts.
Yeah, indeed. And it feels like the newbie version of KP still has a ton of influence on this series. If you can think about it, his offlane Naga was used prominently when he was still playing on that squad. His Underlord was winning a game. Well, not his Underlord, but Keen Gaming's adaptation of it. I like this lineup a lot more. I think it's definitely more quirky. I'm just concerned that this lineup of Keen is just so fast and there's so much damage output from early game to mid. And once again, they've taken something that I found so strong when I was casting the CIS Birmingham qualifiers. Old but Gold made it to the finals, mostly on the backs of their willingness to just first 2 Leshrac, Nyx Assassin. From laning phase throughout the game, so much stun, tons of damage, and level 7 Edict is enough to just take down a tier 1 alone.
So you just keep pushing and pushing and pushing and quickening the pace of the game, which is kind of funny when you look at the heroes from Mineski, which, like Naga in her old sense, would always slow down the game because it'd always be this never-ending split push. But maybe is that what Mineski is looking to also counter? Kane, if you want to fight into us, if you want to bring 4 or 5, we're going to sleep you, and then we're going to follow up with one of our many different abilities to wreck the crap out of you in a team fight.
Exactly. The only downside of the Mineski lineup is if you look at their ability to find the backline supports and just really these early to skirmish, to 2-on-2, to find kills. If you don't have a setup into a Mirana arrow, not really possible. Whereas Keen, you've got all this setup, and then a Lich and a Razor that are plays they want.
He just walks straight past Karka into the stun. Don't worry, a courier's coming to help him. Here's Ajit, but Febby taking so much damage, he can turn for a fissure, connects over on 2, tries to run back to his team, won't be able to do so. Dark is very low, and thanks to also the sack on the Jingu, they find the revenge kill and the stolen bounty rune. Karka will get the other one on the northern side.
They're chasing, though. They've got Lesh stun in a second.
Yeah, they do. It's just off cooldown. Can they hit one of these? Karka or 11 needs to set it up, and then they get the chain stun. But Ajit's still ready to go. He's still got 3 hits of Jingu, and they're going to miss the first one, which means Ajit gets some harassment time into old 11. Arctic Burn is definitely not off cooldown. But we're definitely starting this game off at a nice, fun tempo, Kyle.
For sure. I think we'll have a far more active game. These teams' lineups are so much more willing to battle. On bottom, I think KP is the hero to watch. Such a difficult lane. Ember Spirit last pick, I love, and just demonstrates the versatility of Keen Gaming. It's the perfect Naga counter, but...
They're up into the air. Febby with the perfect fissure block. Old 11, he cannot survive this. He'll stun up once, and Ninja Boogie's even tipping Old 11 before he can kill him.
That's well done. You're going to start with the tri-lane up top. Secure the Monkey King's lane, because while it's a strong battler, you're very susceptible to kill lanes. You usually win trade, but against Nyx Lesh, you're always susceptible to just double stun, low armor, Edict can chase you down. You want to be able to secure that laning phase.
Yeah.
Kaka does a great job to pull behind tower
it feels like 2KP wants to be left alone. Like he needs those early levels so he can get the points up in the mirror image and the Riptide, so he's able to actually have some level of presence in this bottom lane and some level of presence that allows him to keep a distance between himself and Old Chicken.
I'm just concerned about him. Lich Ember is one of the strongest dual lanes, especially in the safe lane. You would never have a method of cleansing the Ember shield either, or rather removing it. So you'll need the Shaker down bottom eventually. Mid lane, however, you have no arrow threat, but soon Moon will be level 3. Could leap in Starfall perhaps.
Oh, Fissure, Febby's not going to throw it. Once again, that Observer Ward is allowing the information for that mid again to survive. Kaka, man, he's just been never ending on this pull. Drag the Dire Creep Wave, change the balance. Febby going to arrive with a Fissure, actually blocking in Kaka. And thanks to that haste rune, he's got such high movement speed, but no real damage from Ninja Boogie. But he may be able to do it all himself. No, he's going to come in and body block up at Alt 11. They need that strike to come. Boundless Strikes have cooldown in 2 seconds time. And Kaka in the trees keep the information up. The stun comes down. And, well, Kaka's been pretty well set up, but Ajit's going to get off that tower. He can slap down and get a little bit of extra life steal, but Ajit needs to move back and switch the aggro. Able to do so and out of range of the Edict of Leshrac. That was a lot closer than Mineski probably hoped it would be.
With bottom lane, however, Frost Shield, Ember, oh my god, look at the split, but they found the real one.
Yeah. Searing chain him up. KP still pretty damn tanky. There's 7 armor on this Naga Siren. So for all the reduction you've got, it seems the damage isn't there to follow.
Yeah, 20 move speed edge on the Ember as well, so.
God, how many times can this happen to Kaka? He's down to 3 stick charges only as consumables, and he'll drop down an Observer Ward just up on the hill. Some good information as Alt 11, again, Febby. This time it won't block him in. So Alt 11 can walk around the edge of the rock.
Yeah, mid matchup though, that's the key here. You see Moon with a 5 CS lead, at least for now. One of the favorite heroes against Razor, much like a Quap. But I actually like Morana a bit more, because that leap away, you get 3 charges versus just the 1 blink.
Kaka has been such a nuisance, pulling this wave time and time again. But it's also been really credible to Ninja Boogie. He's making him work for this. Kaka is having little to no presence as far as getting any experience. He's still just shy of level 2. But he is causing a slight imbalance in the lane.
Yep. We saw this in games with the Razor off lane. The same method of dealing with it is...
Was that blocked?
Ooh,
yeah,
hey.
that's blocked. He can't get back up again. He's kind of trapped in here with Febby and Moon. Starfall's available, and that's what's going to get the kill. Moon leaps up on the hill, ensuring there is no one else to help out, and then even get salved up.
Yeah, like they're fine feeding KP to the Wolves, even though Ember is free farming, because it guarantees they can do what they just did there and rotate on the mid lane. But heroes like Lesh, like Razor, they're not traditional offlaners. There's nowhere else for this hero to go of Old 11. He has to stay in lane. And when you're outmatched like this, you end up with no game whatsoever unless your team rotates to help you out as well. Oh, nice juke by Kaka. That ward,
Fissure
man.
blocks him in, and because he delayed on the Starfall, Moon will have enough damage. He can leap forward to close the distance between him and Kaka. No more stick charges available. Moon will pick up his 2nd kill in the span of a minute in the mid lane, not even having to leave for his glory.
Is the key hero for Mineski.
I think 11's also dead. Trying to dodge the stuns again. The tipping is coming. They're really trying to get into 11's mind.
Yep, Mineski have figured out in some method what they did wrong last game. They're focusing on the right lanes here. The safe lane, tri-lane, just messing with what Keen Gaming wants to do. Just because it's a greedier lineup. They went for hero. Oh, hang on.
Yeah, Febby was trying to battle for the 5-minute rune. He's going to get chain stunning brought down.
Yeah.
Can't even get the Fissure off in time.
Yeah, that's Lesh and X for you, by the way. That's a level 2 and a level 3. And that's the amount of damage you do to a hero that has nearly 800 base HP.
Actually meant that Keen got 3 out of the 4 bounties.
Yeah, this is the greediness though. You go for this openness to your draft as Keen, but it leads to some suboptimal matchups for you. It's all to have the Ember online though. This is the 10th pick Ember because the top net worth.
Another Fissure block. How many times will Febby do this to Keen Gaming? A quick leap away from Moon, cancelling off the static link, but this does buy a little bit more time for the rock wall to come down.
Rune's gonna spawn in just 10 seconds. Oh, he misses the arrow on the catapult.
Doesn't even get the extra Starfall onto the Razor.
Yeah, but this Shaker also helping control the runes for Moon. You need to be able to bottle spam as Morana. It's a very hard lane otherwise. Top, you are going to be rotating a tri-lane now. Lich is up here as Ember Naga just trade.
that Impale was well off the mark, and Winter Wyvern's going to try and make the most of it. The Fissure block comes in. They want to control this Lich. Dark was such a pain in the butt in game 1. They're trying to return the favor in game 2. Edict, Ajit will start to tank it up because Febby was dropping down low. He's also trying to build up this Jingu. Look for the extra slap down. The balance strikes, able to connect, but doesn't have the extra buff.
Well, bottom.
Old 11 Parker are fine, and yeah, it's KP. He's in very deep. He's just juking in the trees. He's juked in the trees. Meanwhile, up on top, the Fissure's coming in once again. Ajit. He does not have the boundless strike.
Looking to make moves here, though, is Mineski. Moon might want to rotate up here as well. He's going to push out mid, and then I hope he moves, because he's got an Arcaner, and this is a very strong Mirana, level 7 as well. Has Invis prepared. Could potentially even come bottom. No points in net on KP, but if he could land an arrow, maybe you find a kill here.
With so much attention as well drawn to the top lane, yeah, maybe bottom lane is the place to go. Lich is a long way away. Here comes the Arctic Burn once again, looking over towards Karka. Fortification, trying to keep him alive as Latrak and Karka, at least they got the creep wave for the moment. Fissure trying to separate up this lineup. Again, the Impel goes begging. Even with the vision, and Raids has moved over. He really wants to try and find something, but Moonlight Shadow is already available too. They're trying to slip it around the back, the Sentry Ward. They see Ajit in so deep with 4 heroes. Ninja Boogie with a Splinter Blast can do some damage, with the Monkey King really caught out.
Oh, so bottom, they got the song off. This is that Mirana Naga combo we've seen so many times before. Oh, but he...
White ball! Oh, that's one run.
Oh, man, that
Old
was...
Chicken back underneath the tower. That is a big miss.
That's a 150-second cooldown and a minute wasted from Moon. God, I think that would have I think it actually just missed. Not just the timing, but I believe it was up to the...
It was too high.
Yeah.
It was almost like he was trying to next level. It's like the song's going to wear off maybe a second early. He's going to try and dodge that way. I don't know. Either way, it's not hitting. Old 11. He just slapped down once again. Heavy damage from Ninja Boogie, but now Karka will come back in. Ajit, so no boundless strike, and now Raze has also joined the fight. He tries to dodge the initial attack by jumping into the mischief. He dodges the Impel, then Karka hasn't hit a single one of those. Lich will die in the meantime. And Ajit gets back behind to his tier 1 tower. The Lich dying underneath the tier 1 tower in mid.
Another really good rotation from Febby. Been present for 6 of the 8 kills so far, many of them in this mid lane. And I like how KP's playing this. I've said this time and time again, whenever I watch offlaners contest people that are stronger than them in the lane, I question why you don't just go behind it. You know, just go back lane. You're ending up trading now in a very unfavorable matchup. You just got to be careful because Ember's kill threat is high.
Well, the Naga can do both, right? Because you can still send your illusions into the lane and you can creep skip it out. So you add lane presence as well as the creep skip.
See maxed out unstable current.
And they're going again in mid. Fissure out, followed up with the arrow. This time he'll connect and Dark will die quickly. And Moon needs to get himself away from this while KP is going to do the same thing to the Ember Spirit. Moon goes into the Moonlight Shadow. The Edict turns on. Old 11, can you guess right? And he comes back down again. And Moonlight Shadow runs long enough that he'll survive, even with Razor moving over. TP will be completed. And there she look towards top lane now. Karka, Spike Carapace will help protect him. Febby, what again? Man, this man, oh, it's actually a full block. Old Chicken, he'll have to be the new target, but man, with no flame guard, no protection, Febby will get the stun. They keep hitting into him. The Wukong, oh, actually not Wukong, it's not even there yet. It's just the Jingu. Giving all the damage required, and then they go in towards mid. Moon looking to be a little bit too aggressive, has to leap away instantly to avoid the sinister gaze of Lich. And Karka may not be out of the woods just yet either. Another Fissure, stunning up. Spike Carapace create a little bit more space, but he slaps him down, so he gets that extra hit in. One more attack should do it. Splinter Blast, he'll come in range for it, and Karka, he realized coming too close to that wave is how he would die.
Really well played by Mineski. Feels like Keen, this time the squad with the pressure on them, not as composed. I think a lot of it has to do with Old 11. You know, previous game, he's a free farm, massive Tidehunter with really no danger of death, whereas here he's a very squishy the Shrek. And Kaka, as you said, a lot of stuns whiffed so far. Nick's not the easiest hero to play, and at this point, every squad in this tournament would have had a ton of experience against the hero.
That's why sometimes you pick the Nyx when there's a setup. Like, it's like, oh, dude's walking around with Scorch. This is the easiest stun of my life. But in this game, it's a lot different. Mineski, like, you can see a Splinter Blast coming, and that's probably it.
Yep. Maybe they go for Naga here, but no, it's not going to be the option.
It's just Febby going a little too deep. Like, he's getting rid of the Observe Ward, so Kaka. Here we go again. Febby trying to do-si-do around him. Supports there with the Winter Wyvern. Doesn't have her ulti yet. The arrow easily dodged by Keen Gaming as Moon wants to actually leap in and get aggressive onto Kaka. Damage reduction's there, and he jumps up, and the same thing will be happening as Ember Spirit commits that Spirit to get underneath the tower. Moon does not have another leap available, so Searing chains him up. Another Spirit jump forward. Moon trying to bottle charge his way through this. KP will come and join the fight. But he's got no control, not a single point up in his snare. So Old Chicken can just walk away.
Yeah, really well played by Old Chicken. He messed up top. We all witnessed that. No flame guard as he dove forwards, but this time ensuring that proper committal. I like the build as well. He's going for the max flame guard chains build. When you're playing against Naga, Marana, look at all these heroes. He has so much kill threat, and you have so many stuns. If you just ensure that your follow-ups got the time to close the gaps, you're going to continue to find these pickoffs. Top net worth, he's got to continue playing this way. Oh, that helps so much. The drums will be completed soon. An Invis rune in the pocket. They'll even go bottom shrine. Maybe they look to smoke here. Yep, so smooth from Keen. A 4-man shrine into the smoke.
Maybe they wanted to finish farming those creep camps first, but either way, she said, smoked up. Winter Wyvern's going to walk in, instantly breaking the smoke. Has to get up the hill. Fissure from Febby will create a little bit of space. Winter Wyvern has no save. Went for the 2 points. Arctic Burn, 3 points. Splinter Blast. So there's no save from the Cold Embrace. Even then, they had enough magical.
And it's only the 1 kill, but the key is that it sets up for this movement. They want mid-tower, and look at this Invis rune. It's coming around. They see the Invis now, thanks to the Ember's positioning.
Yeah,
and he's not in range of the sentry yet.
But he's underneath the sentry ward now. They saw him on the hill at that last moment. What are you going to do? Song of the Siren, sentry ward's up. Here it comes. So they actually see everything. The primary target looks to be on 11. Turn it off as the arrow connects. Perfect timing. Ajit goes into the Wukong's command. Fissure tries to split up this fight once again with the Echo Sam controlling the backlines of the Nyx Assassin. Febby just doing it solo to kill up the Nyx, but Old 11 was able to escape. And they all retreat out of the Wukong's command. That's a big combination from Mineski, and they didn't get the target they started on.
Yep. It does demonstrate the strength of their team fight composition, though. You always start with the Naga song, the arrow. You don't have the Wyvern ult available yet, but you did have the Wukongs. And while you only find the 1 kill, you can't fight in there if you're Keen. You've got to try and poke at the outskirts of the fight, bait some of these big spells, and get pickoffs initially. 5-on-5 will not go their way for some time. They need BKBs before that's a possibility.
It's kind of funny too when you think about it from Mineski. This is their first big combination they try to throw out. Most of their damage doesn't exist yet. Marana is not reaching this point. Yeah, Starfall's level 4, that's great, but the Javelin's now up. The damage is starting to increase for her. But the big items to start wasn't there. Now, the Echo Saber just gets completed after this combination was used.
Exactly. And the
Febby, he's dead.
Oh, yep. Nyx Slash, I said at the start, it's just, you kill everything on Mineski if you find it alone with that Nyx Assassin. The follow-up stun is prepared. And the thing about Keen, though, is that they're not nearly as cooldown reliant. They all have these cheap spells that are almost always off cooldown. Look at the juke onto the Starfall, keeps his Flame Guard alive. Drum's finished as well.
They really need a faster follow-up Mineski.
Yeah.
Or else this Ember Spirit can just be so much more versatile.
Yeah, and so far it feels like the concepts that have been winning games are team fight and reach. Keen adept at utilizing both to win games. This time, they're not gonna have the 5-on-5, but their spells have really no cooldown. So it's all about just in and out, find the kills, poke, care for the big song, counter initiations that Mineski will be waiting to utilize. If you're ever in a position where you catch, a 3-man song on top of each other, or 3-man Wyvern ult, you get dunked on, anything like this, it just becomes so easy for Mineski to drop all their spells, kill some heroes. Then, in that window, much like we saw Mineski do once in the previous game, you can punish without those big R buttons online. It's just much easier said than done.
And that's something that King Gaming definitely showed if we use Game 1 as our example with their timing window. King Gaming, they understood their own window after that first mistake. They adapted very quickly. And that's where I'm wondering how Mineski can change the tempo up. Like if Keen's gaming lineup is like, okay, well, it's very easy to read. This is the way they're going to drop. This is the way they're going to play. Mineski sit there and go, well, we know, but what can we do to change the tempo? How do we remain the dance lead in this match?
It's difficult. I like the smoke move as an example. They unfortunately ran into a support warding, but if they can make that kind of move and find heroes at the tower, it's much easier because you really only need that moment of space, and a Leshrac Edict just clears down those objectives. Look at this.
Oh, we pause, we're back in. That's a 5-second arrow over on the Nyx Assassin, and the Static Link didn't really seal that much damage, using that small little Centaur to get some more damage into Kaka with the Splinter Blast, but Old 11, he'll arrive. He turns on the Pulse Nova and the Edict. Winter Wyvern, he cannot live through this. So again, Wyvern will go down.
Oh, they're gonna know. They should know.
Effect, and maybe they do. Monkey King's up on the trees. There would have been explosions.
Oh, Ember Spirit's running for the runes. Gets the one. Looks like the Radiant will take top as well.
Old Chicken's found KP. The Moonlight Shadow's being burnt, but look towards the mid lane, Ajit. He's waiting for his initiation into the Wukong. He pulls back out of it, gets a slap down. They need this extra control on Old 11, but now you see the chain force. It will not bounce. They just want to kill off Naga Siren. She cannot tank through this. Old Chicken, he dives in real deep, going underneath the tier 1 tower. Has to commit a new spirit to get back down into the river, and he will get away. Yep. And KP just, they cut through him like paper, even though he got the hood activated.
Yeah, seriously. That was a 1350 HP Naga with a 400 shield plus whatever the reduction does, but it's just so much high damage. The mid game is when this Keen lineup will peak. Mineski, they need to wait for the later game when the game sort of stagnates, and then all of a sudden Roshan becomes an objective, then the second, then the third, and you're much easier able to find these team fights within choke points.
Mineski may be a little bit annoyed there. Sentry Ward didn't actually hit the Radiant Obs. It's a little bit further to the south. If they can't see this, if they can't get rid of this, there's so much information for Keen for so long. They at least probably would have seen that Radiant Observer Ward planted on top. And in mid lane, they go for the kill onto Nyx Assassin. Fissure will be available. Spy Carapace hasn't been used. Now it will be KP. I think he accidentally attacked then, but it won't matter. Ajit can still follow through and find the kill while up on top. Once again, Ninja Boogie getting caught out. The Yule Scepter on Leshrac makes for such an easy setup, but Moon wants to try and punish. The Ensnare is out. Can be guaranteed arrow if he had a back off cooldown, but it's not there yet. And Febby's got Fissure. It's up at least. Jump forward. There's your Boundless Strike. Clamping onto Fissure and Arrow. Old 11, the primary target to be controlled. And Song of the Siren. KP once more. He's got the Lich, but he got the bigger one. Actually sleeping up the Razor. Had they go enough. The Wukong command commit as well. And the Echo Slam. They want him dead, and they got him dead. Turn the attention to the Lich. And Old Chicken thought about coming back. He had the double damage rune, so he felt a little bit more confident to fight. But now, maybe with the help of Kaka, he can do so, but not when the Spirit goes underneath the tower. Shit, up into the trees. He jumps down so quickly, so he doesn't actually get hit by that Spirit that would have cut the tree and stunned him up. But he's still broken up. A big impale miss. They needed to control the monkey. Don't let him back up into the trees and away, but everyone's flying back from Keen. They want to have this fight. They're looking for KP. They're back under the cover of Moonlight Shadow. The dust is the only thing revealing him. KP will die. He'll finish buying up his pipe before it, but everyone else from Mineski gets away.
2 buybacks used, however. That's a huge win for Mineski. And Kaka, man, that is, what, the 4th or 5th stun that would have certainly landed a kill. Was he able to connect? It's going to have to come through. It's not even about just winning this tournament, remember, Toby. You want to take home that Mercedes, too. MVPs don't miss their stuns.
Sorry, I got to win in style. And that's what it's about. And Febby, man, he's shown so much style in this game already. I want to see more. And Dire Observer and Sentry is down. Old Chicken's thinking about moving with his own vision, his own Observer Ward to work with this Leshrac. And they can't catch up to Febby. And he doesn't want to die. He's so close to this Blink Dagger.
Oh, look at it. Monkey King. Uh-oh.
Yeah, Razor's right behind. Oh, quick. Jump up and away. Back underneath that Radiant Observer Ward, but he moves so fast. The Boundless tried to create the space. He'll need to buy a TP scroll and get out of here.
Top lane.
And Moon.
Got the Yols.
Very maneuverable Mineski. Another leap forward. Dodging. Spirit jump. And Mineski are back into fight mode. They've got Winter Wyvern's Curse is up. And they are smoked up with the 2 supports.
Yeah, regardless how this series turns out, I am glad it is these 2 teams in the finals. Very high level of Dota being played.
Nicely concepted drafts as well from both sides.
Yeah, exactly. It's just good to see.
All right, tier 1 for tier 2 tower will be the trade-off. Mineski not wanting to give the fight just yet. Maybe a jump into the top. Monkey King, yeah, he doesn't want this. That's a fresh Eye of the Storm being triggered by Yi.
And you can notice as well, Mineski's so willing to take engagements. So long as they have Keen on the run, their chase is nuts because they can just burn an ult here and there to always be able to find those bonus kills. It's similar to, again, what Keen has been doing throughout this event with the Wyvern.
Kaka found his target. Shaker, he's going to buy his Blink Dagger. Febi's moving off his hero. Maybe now he can turn around to land the fissure. Stunning up Alt 11 for a moment so KP can song and potentially TP away to safety. But he wants to walk instead. The Moonlight Shadow gave the extra cover and actually stops Ember Spirit sleeping in the water.
Yep.
But with the Blink Dagger over on Febi, this is a fresh reveal. Echo slams available. They actually want to try and take this fight. Winter Wyvern waiting for the curse timing. He'll trigger it over on the Ember Spirit. Do they want to move forward? Maybe not when Moon gets stunned over in the river. Off to the side. He needs to leap away. The Echo Slam. It is controlling up Ember Spirit, but now he'll be able to spirit back down into the river. Moon barely surviving, gets back underneath the shrine. He had to retreat with the Chain Frost bouncing around. But there's your Blink reveal and Echo Slam.
Yep.
No kills from either side.
I think you're okay with both of those, to be honest. Oh my God.
It is neck and neck, 1.88.
I'd love to see that. And I don't,
The win probability for DOTA says something slightly different, but we'll go 50-50.
I would favor Mineski just a little bit. Their draft is easier to execute. You could see that even though the song and the curse were on cooldown, and the dunk, really, you still don't want to go high ground into a shrine, into the Monkey King ult. And it's similar to the previous game where this time it's Mineski with the 4 ultimates that all have massive teamfight contributions. Keen, it's all just hit and run. You've got BKB on Razor now, so he can frontline for you, but you need to be able to collapse on one of these targets. But they have so many methods on Mineski of saving each other with these big abilities.
They could just disengage when the time is right. Meanwhile, they continuously build up their damage. Of course, the net worth, there's practically nothing in it, like not even 1,000. The same for the experience. We're almost flatlining at 0 on that. But the Mjolnir is done over on Mirana. As you said, the BKB over on Razor. So the teamfight items are there, at least as far as Keen feels. So they smoke up, and once again, looking for opportunities. They're going into the dire jungle.
They should see mid. Okay,
They
Lesh will
don't have
attack.
information. Like, this is going to be a Naga illusion. No one accidentally attack this.
They're not noticing. Razor's nuke is hitting it.
Where's the real one? Nyx Assassin, the one to start off. Is there support to come in just yet?
Song and
Naga
3.
Siren. Yep, Song 2, 1 second. But the static link, he's going to try for it, but does not get the blades to come down in time. So KP will fall.
Good glyph on mid lane.
Fish is out. Echo Slam could follow up. They may just have enough damage to kill a Shrike without it. In fact, they do. The curse on Nyx Assassin. Lich and Razor both killing off Kaka.
Yeah, no Ember Spirit in that engagement. And yeah, Lesh caught off guard. If that's a Tidehunter, it's a totally different story. But this game, Alt 11, not nearly as tanky. His Ember Spirit doesn't have an Arcane on his respawn. Song's still available, however. Curse, not the longest cooldown. And if there was a spell that Mineski don't mind wasting, air quotes, it would be that one. Only 80 seconds on the CD. Much shorter than the dunk and the song for the time being.
Watch a Ninja Boogie committing as many Sentry wards as he needs to. Finally, he'll actually catch both the Observer and the Sentry inside of his jungle. If King Gaming make a move like that, either they had vision beforehand or they planted it when they were there. So King Gaming, they are pretty much blind on the dire side of the map. There's only the one Observer ward, which is going to time out in a minute on the northern side, and there's one very, very defensively on the south.
It seems to be a pattern for Keen, right? Where they have these defensive wards. Was it the same, was what won TNC that series against Team as well, where they had all these wards on like their own jungle. Actually, one of them was, I believe, on that exact hill where Lesh is running past just now. They saw a smoke and then were able to position on the high ground to win a conclusive engagement.
Oh, they won't see this smoke from Mineski. 3 heroes together. Of course, it's the 2 you need to have the combo with, Song of the Siren into Wukong, so Naga and Monkey involved. And you do have the Echo Slam back off cooldown. I think Febi actually wants to move to the top lane so he can get that last point of experience.
Yep.
So he gets a 2nd level in Echo Slam now.
Yeah, it makes sense. It's a significant increase on the damage output. If you're able to hit a bunch of units, that is. Pipe on Naga, soon to have the diffusal. You have a diffusal as well on the Ember, or rather the Monkey King. So
It's
the
Observer and
highest
Sentry
damage
just timed out. Oh, this Razor's so close. Lich is nearby, the Fisher flies. It's just going to keep Razor nearby. They Moonlight Shadow up. Lich has Observer and Sentry to potentially put back down and refresh that position.
Yeah, Ember Spirit going for the Searing Chains. Damage builds can expect True Sight or True Strike later. He wants to be the physical DPS as this game continues. And 4-second chains against Mirana, Monkey, Naga, like all these heroes, they just hate playing against massive amounts of stun spam.
What do you think the focus is of this double diffusal build? We've got one coming in for the Naga Siren, and we've already got the one built over on the Monkey King.
For Monkey, it's just the highest damage, especially with Wukongs. You now hit 3 heroes with a curse and Wukong. Like, you just win the fight for sure, because those monkeys will double tap with 50 mana burn per hit as well. It's good against the Nyx and the Lesh in the event that they tank that combination. Otherwise, Diffuse is just a nice item on Monkey King nowadays. If you don't want to go Battle Fury, it's one of the most efficient gold per DPS on the market.
The prize is mine.
The fishing arrow looking for old 11. If he was going to be taking that rune. Now he shows himself in lane. Arrow's on cooldown. So even if Febby can get the initial stun, there wouldn't be the easy chain from Moon. But his damage is getting a hell of a lot better. Working in towards that BKB so we can stand during the fights.
It's one of the rare occasions. This goes to 1-1. Mineski can pull it out on the strength of their team fight. I would not be surprised to see a game 5, just on how well these teams are playing. Not much action, I know, folks at home. Bloodthirsty.
Sorry, there's only 30 kills in 26 minutes. We're used to a higher level of octane.
We're spoiled here in Dota, okay?
Yeah.
In a league match, this is unbelievable.
Hey, I wasn't going to say it. I was happy to move on.
I don't expect much to go down until the Roche becomes an objective. Mineski are they just have no incentive to look for team fights just yet. However, I would say that much like Keen in the previous game, they want to try and use these spells to gain advantage. There's nothing doing for them when they're on cooldown. Oh, Kaka almost caught that nuke with his Carapace.
Yeah, he's right on top of him. Ninja Boogie's there too. Kaka body blocking for a moment. Archer jumps onto the tree line. There's 4 heroes ready to go. Febby's in the back lines. Here's your first stun out. It connects on one. Wukong Command coming out from the trees. The fissure is good to release lock. The next in position is Razor. Will have to burn the entire BKB under the curse. And everyone from Mineski is just bail.
Yeah, that's okay. It's much, when you bail out of the enemy jungle, it's far different than if, say, they were caught in their own woods. So you're cool with this. You were applying pressure. And now you just go back to catch your other side lane.
Do you also see what happened directly after? So they came in with their Observer and Sentry Ward. So they de-warded what Mineski already de-warded, but they revealed the fact they put their own Observer Ward down. So Mineski know where that probably only one ward is on the entire map that Keen Gaming had. They understand the vision game.
You got to be a little cautious, though. Keen's done a great job of playing around the hero they want to absorb that attack, and then they spin it with those big ults. If you let Moon be the one who gets jumped, you've got to blow these ults defensively, and you aren't able to turn around the kill. You had a one-man Wukong, a one-man Wyvern ult. You're going to need more to win these fights.
Fissure and Snare, where's this long-range arrow that you're looking for? It is not coming. Moon is actually limping back through the top lane. He's not here to fight. They're having to rely on the rest of Mineski, just with Splinter Blast and the Illusions and Riptide to push back the lane. But when Edict is up, Old 11 just moves in closer. Beat into that tier 1 tower.
Hang on, though. You're going to have...
Oh, another fissure. Ninja Boogie, Curse is off cooldown right now. But the tier 1 tower is already gone. They needed almost like 5 seconds longer, Mineski, before that fight was possible for them.
So here's the big thing, though. You've got Ember, who...
hang on. Jump. They're going to stun each other with a Splinter Blast. They actually bring it down from the trees. KP turns on the Song of the Siren, but Old 11, as well as Yi, they can just fight through their BKBs. So the TP, KP knows he cannot get it off. He needs to move back out. The curse is out. Razor was starting to steal some of the damage, and Ember Spirit, Old Chicken in the back lines. It's a perfect searing chain. It's already a double kill. The stun's combining with the Chain Frost. Febby can't do anything. He can't even get the Echo Slam off. It was the Sinister Gaze that cancelled it. Maybe Moon has enough damage. No, he doesn't. Heal Pop as well. Even in the Wukong's command, the buyback had to be expended to get this advantage back in. KP will finally die, giving Yi that ultra kill onto the Razor. Everyone is so low on Keen. They will walk away, and they'll even try an efficiency as at peak.
I was just about to mention the BKBs, Toby. You've got one on Lesh and one on Razor. That's the big deal. You look at the damage output. It's just all these 2 heroes. Like, Ember Spirit went back to base. He had enough gold for his own. He would have certainly survived. Then that becomes, what, a 6-for-0 in the side of Keen? Just once again, Wyvern ult on one target. The Wukongs actually not even coming off. You can't be isolated like this as the Monkey King. And if I were to point to one flaw in the Mineski draft, they don't have the hero Keen's utilized with this sort of lineup. That just bull rush The one hero that goes in, tanks the spells, and allows the rest of your heroes to position off of him. You don't want Monkey King or Mirana to be the target initiated on.
Yep. And Monkey King was that target. Like, he put himself there. It was such a long leap forward without having the BKB while being on a tree that was very easy to break as well. Yeah. Keen Gaming have great ways to remove specific lines of trees.
Yeah, Yi, just on this Razor, man, it feels like no matter what they do, no matter how often they pick it, once you choose to counter with, he always has a great game. Nice stun, will it be enough? Yes, they hit the arrow.
They connected. Old Chicken, this will be a big kill to get. Febby was even jumping in deeper. Moon is the man to take 372 gold for the kill. Yeah, and still trying to play catch up, trying to catch up to the butterfly.
Yeah, you can see Ember opting to go for more of the accelerating item. Radiance will be the selection. No BKB for some time, which means if you're Mineski, that's the guy you've got to be gunning for.
And they're gunning. They're coming over onto the cover of Moonlight Shadow. It was only that. But they're pretty damn good to not actually walk under a single Radiant sentry because they just aren't there. But I'm also watching Nyx Assassin inside of Vendetta. You'll have to walk into that dire sentry wall for them to go. A fresh Observe Ward planted down. Naga Illusions will say hi as well, and there he is. He's underneath the sentry ward. They go for the curse. They just want to get that distance to get the arrow, and here she flies forward. 5 seconds stun, but they know they can't go on it. There's too much behind it. And the ward was instantly dewarded.
Yep. And to go back, what's Mineski going to do frontline? I'd like to point your attention to the Naga Siren's itemization. He's going to be going for a heart after Pipe Diffusal, so he'll actually be the one trying to tank the spells, get the song off the counter initiate perhaps, or at the very least, you know, somebody had to be this guy, right? And KP recognizes that. The panel talked about it. He likes these utility items. You're not going to play a carry Naga from the off lane.
Not in this game, at least. If this was 2-3 years ago, then maybe that would happen. Smoke up in the mid, but the fissure from Febby forced them to take the scenic route north.
They might find the Naga, but of all targets, this might not be the one you want here.
Yeah, which one do you want to go on? Is this the real one? Oh, Yule Scepter up, the stun will follow through. KP, pretty tanky, but not that tanky. Support's coming in. Winter Wyvern doesn't have the curse available. And KP is already down for the count. Monkey King looking for some kind of rebuttal. The Nyx Assassin was the target, dusted up, but they could not get him locked.
And there's no buyback on the Naga. And keep in mind, the Razor BKB timing is big. Already down to 7 seconds. Man, it feels like this game just started. Already 32 minutes. Like, we're in the late game all of a sudden. No longer mid.
It feels like this game's got a lot more legs. Like
For
their
sure.
tier 2 towers, majority of them, like there's one that's only fallen. Reaching high ground with either of these teams, if Lashrak survives, Keen can do it. Without him, it's a pretty hard ask. And same for Mineski. They don't have that high damage output just yet. Mirana is still working towards it, but a couple of deaths is like setting her back.
Yeah,
The team fight, however, that we have a lot of.
Shiva's level 20 soon on Lesh. It's a big spike. Whether you go the 25% evasion or 50 Pulse Nova damage, both are excellent. A lot of big talents are going to be coming out soon. Mirana will probably go for the mana break over the spell amp, but
Going to try Roshan?
no, they're going to smoke and try and cut top, it looks like.
They see Lashrak very, very isolated by himself, but he has a TP scroll and BKB.
Yeah, he just wanted to finish that one wave for the Shivas. Look at this positioning.
Oh god, this
gaming.
walk up into the shrine. At least there is no shrine to use. They'll see instantly the Razor. Triggers his BKB, puts a static link on the Monkey King. They'll create some space, actually pulling the Nyx out of his Vendetta. The Chain Frost as well off target, but they want to focus on Febby. They do not want him to have the ability to jump forward, but he gets the Echo Slam. The control up in the river. They have to find the kill. Febby getting the distance. He's got a Fissure available. Oh, the slide of fist! It bounced out to the side. Moon will now let the Wukong's command go, so Old Chicken will die for the ES. Both do not have buyback available. As Mineski will try and wait this out in the Wukong command for the moment. It keeps Keen on their high ground. Ninja Boogie begins his TP away to safety, and he'll be successful.
Yeah, 1 core for 1 core. And how poetic is it? Just check out those death timers.
I love how you see Febby as a core.
They're perfectly in sync. Both teams, just they get it. I can't fault either one for playing. You know, it's not passive really. It's just careful. It's calculated from both sides. Keen has just got enough of an advantage where team fights don't necessarily go Mineski's way unless they can hit the combo. The moment Wyvern ult is used, you've got to be careful because you don't have that full setup. And Butterfly on the Razor, wow, he is farmed.
Yep.
And is something Gunnar brought up on the panel too. Every time you watch Yi, it feels like he's going some kind of weird item, but it always makes sense. In this game, he notices no MKB on the Mirana just yet. who should hopefully be switching to one now. He's still got the butterfly queued up, but you got to go MKB here now if you're Moon. Otherwise, you're going to have major issues trying to kill this Razor. Your Monkey King is still very far away. He just completed his BKB.
He actually needs the proper cannon shots. If he doesn't have it, life's going to be a lot harder, as she said.
And another quick concept, Toby, the vision control. Look at the number of sentries placed by Radiant.
Yep.
It's like watching Zergs play Zerg, really. But
and they understand their side of the map. Like, that's the other thing you were flagging like 10 minutes ago. It's like, you know what, we just control our side. If Mineski want to come over, that's fine. They'll actually get rid of this one observer water. But I love this from Ninja Boogie. He's trying to save it because they're trying to get as much money into KP as possible. They're trying to get him to the heart, and they're battling for the 35-minute runes. Kaka, he actually steals the rune and gets away. This actually gives them 3 out of the 4.
And you can see nearly a 4,000 gold advantage in these bounties and 6K on the board. So a lot of Keen's movement, just securing these runes is what's actually cemented their lead here.
What was that? It was a 0.4 second to a 0.2 second timing, like how fast they get them. They understand the economics of this game. A little bit of push on bottom lane will allow Moon to probably take this tier 2 tower. It doesn't look like Keen is in a position to defend it. And they will be concerned about what's behind us. They'll fortify to buy a little bit of time.
Radiant's bottom tower is under
It's just
attack.
really fun to watch. And Keen, they just recognize, when you're Mineski, right, you have this team fight lead, but what do you do if you want to acquire vision? There isn't much other than maybe a Monkey King or hopping through the trees or Mirana Invis. So Keen recognized, look, we can play hit and run, but we need to ensure that we're going to play in areas that this team fight can't be used efficiently.
Yeah.
And if we're going to initiate, it's going to be with Razor walking up solo, with Ember going for the back line. The supports, they'll follow up later, all just trying to, do that damage control. Play the high percentage movements because you just simply cannot dive in and get caught once because that'll open up Roche, that'll lose you towers. Mineski just needs that one opportunity.
We'll see if they can get it. The MKB that we've been talking about for Moon has been completed despite Carapace. Oh, Kaka walks up, able to hit the Sun. Febby instantly just wants to cut the fight. He gets the ASM off. They want to get the kill over on the Razor. So much control, but the arrow won't connect. A 4-star pushes him away. The Chain Frost will not be able to continue the bounce, but this is the bigger one. Nyx Assassin, cursed up. His teammates are killing him and actually do put him down into the ground. But Old 11, ready to fight. Misses a big stun, trying to control KP. Remember, Song of the Siren is still available, as well as Wukong Command. Lashrak is over in the tree lines. When are they going to look for the control? Mirana's trying to battle through the tree lines, but it's Old Chicken in the back lines who won't be able to find his target. Maybe Winter Wyvern. Lashrak's going to go solo over on him, and the Spirit's ready to commit to jump back over. He's got so much magical damage that even with the Fierce stun, they cannot save him. The Pulse Nova burns through the Wyvern with the Song of the Siren. Here comes your arrow in a tight angle. It hits the melee creep. It doesn't hit the target that Mineski really intended. They'll have to back up. Too many big abilities used, and they've got nothing left in the tank.
Yeah, it's just so well played. You can even see the Shivas coming into effect, right? Because the Monkey King can't play in the trees. Leshrak's just popping it. AoE clear vision all of a sudden, and Ajit's got to get into the fight. Double buybacks utilized, but they're also on cooldown. It's just so much easier for Keen to play in these fights when they're in those big open areas. You love playing on that mid-hill. There's so much space, a full screen to work with. If you're Mineski, you need choke points. You want to try and force Keen into a funnel so that you can actually hit these big spells. They got a 3-man Wyvern ulti, but the Monkey King, because he had to leap away, wasn't in position to get his Wukongs off.
He felt a lot more defensive too, having to run around with the Gem and True Sight sitting on top of himself. He can't afford to lose this. A fissure is out. The follow-up stun, combining with the arrow. That's the full 5 seconds into the Wukong command. They jump back down again. This Lashrak, he's actually, well, he can't actually help out. The TP out, oh, won't be enough. You got an easy walk away from Yi, dead for a very long time. Buyback is available, and Old Chicken actually really isolated. The Aeon disc has already been popped off. He's turning around to attack in, allowing for this double stun. Just chain abilities from Mineski, hitting their targets. But there's the Shrek I was talking about, to the front lines, to slow down, and KP caught on the wrong side of the tracks. He has no other choice but to die. They do get the buyback out from Razor, but Mineski have both Mirana and Naga down without buybacks available, and Roshan being available.
It's just so cool. Old Chicken, like, I swear, Keen's itemization is just so much fun to watch. He's got the Aeon disc, but more importantly, he's saving the stick. You asked why you have all these diffusals on Mineski. Partly, it's because when you Wyvern ult, you can just attack the heroes inside, drain all their mana. They're effectively useless now. But if you save that stick as Ember, you'll always be able to pop it, immediately slight, look to Remnant out if it's necessary. The Aeon disc, of course, ensuring that he can't just be stun locked down in a dunk arrow combination. It's all about just preserving your life so that you can continue to bait these huge spells from Mineski and then turn it around with your own cheap stun locks.
Well, Mineski will have a test of their high ground defense. And Aegis the Immortal, this is still like, it's almost crazy to think the way games being played throughout this tournament. We've seen so many Roshans die, but this one takes over 39 minutes before the first Roshan goes down.
And it's a credit to both teams. Like, this isn't mistakes being made. Often you'll see a game like this and, you know, feels like no moves are being made, but it's really just a game of, I don't even know if it's cat and mouse, really. It's like a lion and a tiger.
Yeah, cat and mouse is not amped enough. We need more ferociousness.
Yeah, 23-23, 40-minute bounty runes in just a moment. Keen Gaming have a foothold in this game, but their gold lead is primarily just these bounties. That Invis rune comes up, but again, Keen with that perceptive scan. Every time it feels like they hit it.
The bounty runes get taken. There's an Invis rune as well that can also be grabbed. It looks like they put that into the Monkey King, or will they? They're still looking for the attack. That's so much damage. The MKB going to work. The arrow will not connect onto the Lich.
It's another force staff. Taka was on point with that in the mid engagement too. If you can't land the arrow, it's where are your actual stuns, right? There's Net, there's Fisher, but these are more mechanics to set up for this 5-second arrow. All your other lockdown comes from these big R buttons. And Keen, they've got their items online. You can see every core with the BKB. They're gonna look to position themselves bottom, but you gotta be careful about that vision.
They're waiting for it. With a Gem of True Sight, you know at least the next assassin, whenever he's close, they'll see it, but I think they see a tree wiggle or something. They're pinging the point exactly. Monkey King's gonna jump down. This feels like bait. He's got the BKB. Now trigger. It's a 3-man stun. Where's the follow-up? Earthshaker. He couldn't get the instant jump. The Spike Carapace stopped him. And Razor, maybe in a little bit too deep. This BKB doesn't have a long duration. The rock wall is holding him here for a very long time. But thanks to Dire Observer and Sentry, they see so much here, Mineski. The Courier's even flying in. Sentry wards. Really? You go, Medic. And maybe they have the stun over on Razor. Winter Wyvers is caught in no man's land with no real way out. Sinister Gaze back into the Lich, but all the BKBs from Keen Gaming, they have been expended.
Dude, Kaka, I know he's missed a lot of stuns, but the Carapaces, it was the same in game 1. Febi's Earthshaker owned throughout most of this tournament, but every single time he looks to counter-initiate, there's a Carapace. On the dunk in the first game, and now the Fishers, like he can't follow up there. That was a beautiful opportunity, but just timed flawlessly once again by the Knicks, and they look to threaten high ground. No Wyvern for 50.
I don't know about this from Keen. Without the BKBs, the Echo Slam can actually be very problematic, but you're right, you have Aegis the Immortal. Here goes your Song of the Siren, into the Wukong setup. You've got Mirana in the neighborhood too. Wait for the Echo Slam, the arrow flies forward. Where is it? It's your done! Hitting it perfect! Everybody plays stuck in the mud! They'll look for another one into the Razor. The BKB's backed off cooldown in the backlines. Febby was looking for the kill onto the Ember Spirit. It won't happen. Buyback's coming in from the shrine. Sinister Gaze onto KP. They see him underneath the sentry ward. Arrow flies forward. He'll connect over on the Lich, but KP, he can't move away. The Spirit is already there, looking for the secondary kill. Mineski, they committed everything they had, but Keen, they weathered the storm.
They just lost 3. The Knicks die, sure, but the Lesh is immediately bought back. Razor popped his BKB and got the hell out of dodge. As soon as those ults are down, we talked about it. What's Mineski got left in the tank?
There's your buyback on ES. They're smoked up. They're trying to get back to the front lines. Looking for that Fissure stun already. Ember Spirit, he knows what he wants. He wants the Ember. A quick 4-star away. The melee racks will drop. Lashrak was able to enable that one. Radiant's Courier might get caught, but here's your Lashrak. Hold in position. Razor, attack as fast as you want with that level 25 talent, but the actually doesn't do as much damage. Monkey has to BKB and get the hell out of here. There's a double stun over on the Razor, not perfectly layered, but right now Mineski just want to back up and reset. They lost their bottom lane of racks.
And there's so many layers to what Keen Gaming is looking to do. I'm just finally realizing it, but how well they play around the level 25 talent spikes. They did in the first game with the Tidehunter. This time, 100 attack speed on Razor. Ember's gonna get that permanent remnant and or 2 sleight of fists. And Leshrak, level 25, 40 Edict explosions. That's effectively a double Edict every time you cast it. It's one of the most broken and powerful 25 talents in the game. And if they can just maintain this advantage for a bit, get those 25s first, like Mineski, you got to live 224s yourself. You'll have the Moonlight Shadow cooldown on the Mirana, sure, but it doesn't increase the damage output like these Keen talents do.
Yep.
Even, I mean, the Wukong's ring will get bigger, but will that really affect, it won't affect the damage output.
Yeah.
Everything that Keen gets does.
And even their initial damage, that Aeon disc that's over on the Ember Spirit, like the one guy you think, oh, maybe I can get this, I can get him down when the Flame Guard's off. Nope. Also doesn't work.
Yep.
But the Vision game will continue. The Gem of True Sight was not lost, so it's still in the hands of the Monkey King. So vision-wise, Keen's is like, well, okay, you're going to keep taking out all our wards. If we just push down the lane, we know where you are. So does the vision game then even matter?
Dude, Satanic on Razor, man. This Yi guy's absolutely crazy. Yeah,
And he's going for his own Aeon disc.
Yeah.
It's double the
perfect.
sustain.
And not only that, the Nyx has one too. And it makes total sense if you consider the win conditions, right? How are you going to die? You're going to get Wyvern ulted, or you're going to get Mass Echo comboed.
Yep.
Now, that Song, you might hit that massive AoE spike, but everyone on the side of Keen's going to be invulnerable for 2.5.
Yeah.
Then they have time to pop the BKBs. That's a strong dispel. Like, this is a just super insightful way to once again just, it seems, handle the Mineski win condition and nullify it completely as they now chase KP.
Arcus found his target. Febby is nearby, but again, the Spike Carapace, he has to land the fissure. Even if he'll be stunned himself, it just stops the Impale from chain stunning.
And every time that this happens, you see Old Chicken up top. He takes the 2. They get the 1 on Radiant side bottom.
The
and it
difference
continues,
in the bounties.
It's all about the map control. If you remove this advantage, it's not nearly the same kind of game. Half the advantage is just because of bounties, which is just a representation of the map control Keen has been able to output. Again, look around the map at the sentry placement.
Is that effect of Kaka too? Like, he's stolen so many bounty runes from underneath Mineski, especially in the later phase. As your butterfly now done over on Monkey King. That's one thing that you don't itemize for on a Razor as an MKB. Same thing for the Ember Spirit. But they smoke up. They move forward.
Yep.
And looking for the scan. No one's going to be there. Mineski are all back at base. The most important thing for them is to hit their combo.
Yep. You have all 3 level 25s. Just go smoke, right? It's Dota 101. Get to about as powerful as you can be. And geez, just check out. Look at the
Yep,
shrine.
that's one edict charge kills an entire shrine.
Half an edict charge.
It's powerful.
And this is all you got to do. It's just get strong. That's Dota. Get strong, go fight. King Gaming understand this, and they're going to look to continue to try and find this engagement.
The real KP was inside that. And the fissure connects on the Ember Spirit. They don't want to jump forward, or maybe they do. Slide of Fist here in Chains. Monkey King was able to jump up to the high ground, but Mirana really caught out. Hasn't got the BKB up there, revealing with the dust. A quick 4-star, buys the space and the leap away. The curse is on the Nyx Assassin, but Ninja Boogie, he's in way too deep. The arrow flies forward. It's a good 5-second stun, but it's only buying time for Mineski to get the hell out of there. Keen are way too strong. Wyvern does have buyback, but Curse is now on cooldown, and Keen are coming high ground.
They're going to need a big song setup, but just watch the positioning. Dark doesn't want to be caught here. He can get the Frost Shield off on whoever actually gets initiated on.
Well, they get rid of the Observer. Sinister Gaze, KP getting pulled towards them, and then Searing Chains, Ember Spirit. He actually got slowed up. He got defusal, then he now arrowed. Aeon Discord triggered. There she dispel and jump away. Such a great ability is Lashrak. He just ripped through the tier 3 tower. Mineski have to kill this pony.
Look, the in and out just continuously.
They got Song again. If they want to hold him in position, everyone's together. Febby's getting stunned up, just chain stun while Ember Spirit locked in by Moon. He may have enough damage to get through Old Chicken. The damage negation is there, but finally, they burn through the Ember. He'll buy back and jump into the Spirit. The BKB just wore off. Mirana, she's got no more leaps available. She's stranded over on the far side, while Monkey King will die inside of his own Wukong command. They'll finally kill off the Lashrak. Yes, they do, but buybacks need to be committed. Monkey's dead for 2 minutes time. So is the ES, so is the Wyvern. Buybacks, everything Mineski have got, they have burnt, and it still won't be enough to repel King Gaming. Song of the Siren. Okay, yeah, what do you want? Arrow? You'll hit Ember. His Aeon's on cooldown at least, but this feels like a very random throw of the dice.
Indeed, they have the gem as well. So KP, he's got no illusion spawn. He's actually just going to die.
This is over.
He's got no buyback either, Toby.
This is over. He's dead for 100 seconds. There is no way that Mineski can ever push King Gaming back out of their base. They could just go for the tier 4 towers now and end up a Keen. They're being as thorough as possible, and there it is. GG is called from Mineski. King Gaming, they are playing such flawless Dota, switching up the styles and still doing it like they're a proper chameleon.
Yeah, it's as if they turn into a different legendary Dota team every time we see them play a match in this final. And I can't find much fault with the way they've been playing. Mineski, that was not a bad game of Dota by them, but Keen made it near impossible for them to execute their lineup to the fullest. Like, just the idea. Roche, the first Roche at near 40 minutes, that's a huge win for Keen. They don't want to fight in the pit. They want to stay in these nice open fields, hang out in the meadow, and they did just that, and they take, once again, a convincing win.
Convincing win it is. Like, game 3 is coming up in just a bit. Mineski, what have you got to try and push us away from a 3-0 clean wipe?
The tank is running on empty as far as Mineski are concerned. They've got a lot of work to do to get back into this series. Best of 5, of course, so they have top opportunities still, but my goodness, Keen, they're very difficult to beat right now, and they seem to be so thorough about it as well.
So thorough, and I guess the difference is between game 1 and that one, it didn't feel like it was as much of an inevitability. You know, there was always a chance that Mineski could come back in. You know, one big Winter's Curse, one big Echo Slam. Even though we did see a few come out from Febby there was that hope, but Keen just so disciplined, getting away on, you know, a sliver of HP and re-engaging again and again.
Early game, good stuff from Mineski.
Yeah,
like they might have sort of unlocked something, didn't it?
Yeah, I mean, like Denog said, it just felt like there wasn't that same kind of inevitability. At this time around, both lineups were just